plaintiff, Vera Scovell, says after her son was murdered in 2014, she learned that he may be the defendant's father. Vera never knew the defendant existed until that moment, so she petitioned for a paternity test in hopes that it will prove the defendant is, in fact, her grandson. Defendant Alston Ellis says he went into foster care at age 4 and was eventually adopted, but he reconnected with his birth mother when he was 18, and that's when he learned about Vera's son potentially being his father.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
We're here for a DNA determination. Let's start with you. Give me some background here.
Okay. I had a son, and he was murdered back in 2014.
Sorry to hear that.
And they did catch the guy because he was trying to rob a bank after that.
How did he target your son?
I believe they knew each other. My son worked, he did taxes. He managed tax offices. Mm-hmm. And so he was in the process of transitioning back to California because that's where I live. He was there just for the tax period, so he was staying at like a extended stay. Mm-hmm. And so I'm pretty sure the guy knew him. And so the guy came to his room. And I don't know what transpired or how it transpired, but I do know that my son didn't have any defensive wounds. So he was attacked from behind and he stabbed him.
Terrible.
Did they find any motive or speculate on them?
Other than I think the dude was on drugs real bad. Okay. So that's from what I understand. So after that, after his death, it went on to social media, what had happened to him. And there was a lot of people that called me back in California expressing their condolences and saying how much he meant to them. And one of the persons that called was a lady named Carrie. And Carrie turned out to be Austin Ellis's mom. Mm-hmm. She told me that my son, Darnell, was the father of her son, Ellis. She said that he had been placed in foster care and his foster care parents adopted him. About May of this year is when I first talked to her. She called me. Mm-hmm. And she had reconnected with Austin. And so that's when I talked to him for the first time. And so I was expressing to him that I wanted to have a DNA, but not because I disbelieve. I want him to have a DNA because he needs to know who his family is. Had I known I had a grandson, he never would have been in foster care. He'd have been with his family. So I appreciate everything that you're doing for us today because I want a grandson. That's it.
You want to give me some background?
Yeah. When I was 4, I had got put into foster care because my mom was on drugs, from what I know. And I got adopted when I was 6. So I wouldn't say it was like the best living situation with my foster parents. So I ended up moving out like not soon as I turned 18, but like a month afterwards. And I ended up moving in with my sister. And she's 2 years older than me, and she was adopted in the same family I was, and she moved out at the same time when she was 18. So she had already met my birth mom. So she had asked me if I wanted to meet her, and I was like, yeah, I do. And whenever I first met her, she had let me know. She said that your dad did pass away, and she was telling me about other family members and stuff too. But that's like kind of really what.
When was that?
This was sometime October of last year.
Okay.
So
how did it go when you all met up? She was telling you things about what? What type of her life or you all's relative?
She was like telling me like little things. She never like got really in depth about it, and I kind of wanted that to be like that. I didn't want everything to get thrown at me at once because it would have been a lot to take in.
Okay.
But she did tell me that my dad had passed away. She didn't tell me how until later, and she told me the same thing that Miss Vera just said. And
okay, did you all continue a relationship?
We did for a little bit. I kind of like backed myself away from her recently because she did bring something up about him that I didn't like about
that you didn't like?
Yeah.
And Carrie turns out to be Austin Ellis's mom. She told me that my son, Darnell, was the father of her son, Ellis. She said that he had been placed in foster care.
Plaintiff Vera Scovell says after her son was murdered in 2014, she learned that he may be the defendant's father. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test.
You never met your dad. And when you did meet your mom, it didn't last. The relationship didn't grow any further than 1 year because of something she said about your deceased dad?
Yeah.
All right. You want to say, what have you been doing with your life? Finished high school?
Yeah, I finished high school. I do want to go to college. I didn't go last year just because I had no clue what I wanted to do. But I wasn't thinking that I could do just regular courses for the first year, then really try to get a grip on what I want to do. But I do plan on going back this upcoming winter.
Good, and that's exactly what you should do. And that's what I advise young people. Do not choose your major before you go there. You can have an idea of what you want to do, but first 2 years are only general classes. You don't get into your focus or major until the third year. That's when your major courses start, the things you're concentrating in. Yeah. So that's the advice I give, and you're following some good advice to yourself. And that is take the classes or just begin college if that's your choice. And you don't have to be convinced of what you're going to do until your third year. Then you have to choose. Yeah. And what I advise is you do your best on every subject. That's what I advise young people. And then the subject that comes easiest to you, you find the subjects. If it's math and science, you find a career that picks math and science. Because that's where you excel and that's what you enjoy and that's what you'll do good at. If you like to talk and write and read, then pick law because you'll be good at it and that's what's required and you'll enjoy it. I always tell young people, find something that you like and learn how to get paid for it. Those two things. Because if you find something you don't like, you're not going to get paid very long or very much because you're going to do as little work as you have to because you don't really like what you're doing. Yeah. And somebody who likes what they're doing is going to come along and outwork you. And then you're going to be walking around them, the boss don't like me. Boss don't, because you're looking at your clock at 4:30 every day and waiting on 5 to come and your colleague is working until 7 trying to impress the boss to go further ahead. So just a word for you to contemplate. But yeah, I'm proud of you. How about your sister after having gone through these challenges? How's she doing?
So she's currently just now getting back into work, but she's been working ever since. She does plan on going to college whenever I did. She went for a year, but then she took a year break. But now
what type of work?
Right now, she's just like at Amazon, but she was doing, she worked at the hospital.
Okay.
Previously.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she said that she messed with it, yeah.
All right. Well, tell her she might want to look into something like that in the medical field when she gets there. Could be nursing, could be physician, what have you, if she liked it, or at least try it out.
Yeah.
So give her that advice from me as well. And what type of communications have you all had?
Okay, we've spoken on the phone. We FaceTime each other. We seem to have a good rapport.
Good.
He's a good kid. He's very respectful. And I see characteristics in him that I don't see in a lot of kids these days. And I
am so happy to hear you say that, particularly with the challenges that he had in life.
Right.
That shows a lot of strength in you, young man, and a lot of character, and you'll go far in life, because I get that same impression of you. And on that note, I have to say that whoever raised you did a good job in that sense.
Yeah.
You ain't raised yourself.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll give whomever raised you credit for raising a young man who is ambitious, who has overcome his obstacles, and who is living a productive life. Many come from foster care homes, and they begin to live destructive lives when they're out on their own, in particular, for a variety of reasons. Many turn to alcoholism, drug abuse. So I'm glad that you survived all that, and we look forward to big things from you. Any final comments from you? All right. Then.
Okay, Judge, I have some evidence here that
All right.
he's never seen his father, so I brought some pictures.
I do have some pictures too.
You have them?
Yeah, from what Carrie has sent me.
Let me look. You have him in your
Yes.
file? Yeah, handsome young guy. Yep,
me
you
and
do
him.
look like your dad here.
Yeah. And then if you look at page,
Who was the young lady with him? That's your mom?
me.
You're going to show me the youngest, finest thing you can get in here.
Watch it
you
now,
gonna dig. You
Judge.
From the beauty parlor.
Yeah, you dug deep and said, let me find the finest picture I can get of Judge Mathis. No, you beautiful
Then-
picture. You're a beautiful lady and fashionable lady now.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
a beautiful picture.
So I didn't know he had pictures of it. So
Yeah, I always tell young people, find something that you like, and learn how to get paid for it. Those two things. Because if you find something you don't like, you're not going to get paid very long or very much. Because you're going to do as little work as you have to. Because you don't really like what you're doing. And somebody who likes what they're doing is going to come along and outwork you.
Plaintiff Vera Scovell says after her son was murdered in 2014, she learned that he may be the defendant's father. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test.
Well, you want a grandson, and you have one.
All right.
How about that? This is your grandma. Have a good day.
I'm just happy. These are tears of joy. I love you, baby.
Plaintiff Anthony Ward met the defendant in high school, but they weren't really friends because Anthony was into sports and the defendant was more of the nerdy type. Anthony claims they reconnected years later, but he's suing him today for the balance due on a car. Defendant Jordan Bergen says when he and Anthony reconnected after high school, Anthony got him into smoking pot, and then he was arrested for stealing a piece of pizza. Jordan feels Anthony is suing him prematurely.
Start with you.
Okay, it started off, me and Jordan used to be friends in high school. We didn't really hang out like that because he was more of a nerdy type and I was more sports, so we didn't hang out like that.
What sport?
Say again?
Maybe I didn't say that in the right tone. What sport?
Oh, I played football and baseball.
And he was a nerd? He got cool glasses on now, and he got his hair bouffant. He got the bouffant. He looks
you
pretty
wasn't
clever
like
to
that
me,
before.
huh?
I said, I promise you he wasn't like that before.
All right. Go ahead.
After I graduated, we kind of took our separate ways. I ended up going to the military for a little while, and I don't really know what he did. But I only stayed there for like a brief amount of time because I got hurt. And then I got sent home.
You were in combat?
I was during training.
All right. And what part, how? What? I don't want to trivialize it until I know what type of injury.
I tore my ACL.
Okay. Yeah. Are you recovered pretty well?
Yeah.
All right. But it ended your pro basketball career, your prospects for the NBA?
Sadly. I'm not over 6'4".
You don't have to be.
And very muscular.
Derrick Rose is only 6'1" or
Right.
2.
But he was really good.
He really good. What do you mean? We have a former college player that works here. I think he's in the audience. I think you can get him an agent at least.
That means no.
Him and Dole haven't seen you. I believe in you, man. All right. So, and when did you all resume your friendship?
It was actually up until recently, around, I'd probably say around May.
That's when you all first began a closer friendship since high school?
Yeah, it was for a while.
Where'd you see him and how did you all run into each other and what did you all begin to do?
It started off as we used to like text each other like here and there, just see how you're doing and stuff like that. And so after I got sent home, I eventually started learning how to work on cars and start fixing them and selling them. And so that's when Jordan came back. And
All right. Let me get some background on him now.
All right. So just
When did you go from nerd to cool? You're cool now, man.
I did
sir?
meet Anthony in high school. We never did really hang out. He was correct there. I was kind of a nerdy type in high school. I can say I guess I still kind of am. But after high school, we did start hanging out just a little bit more. He's the one actually who got me started smoking.
You know I was about to ask you that. All of
yeah.
a sudden, y'all got so much in common.
We
ain't seen each other in years. That's exactly what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to accuse you immediately. But I was gonna say, we start texting every day, to see who had the weed. You know I ain't crazy.
But I just met him up at
what
the park.
two men got to text each other about every day? Go ahead.
But yeah,
Go ahead.
my parents didn't really like me smoking. That caused some issues. They put me out. Yeah, I was 18 and they didn't like it. They were well within their rights, I suppose.
Yeah, that's tough love for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I was out a month, moved in with my grandparents. There I got into some trouble, caught a couple cases. First
Drinking
one,
or weed?
not for weed. No, I have no drug-related offenses.
Drinking?
No. Actually, what happened was I found a credit card
All right, don't hurt
in the gutter, and
you don't
I
have to
decided
give it. You don't have to go through that.
Yeah, I just decided to swipe it. I got caught up because of cameras. Afterwards, I got bailed out with my grandparents, luckily.
Derrick Rose is only 6'1" or
Right.
2.
But he was really good.
He really good. What do you mean? We have a former college player that works here. I think he's in the audience. Think you can get him an agent at least?
That means no.
Plaintiff Anthony Ward is suing his former friend, who claims after Anthony introduced him to pot, he got arrested for stealing a piece of pizza.
You a card cracking?
Not really. I mean, it's just a credit card. You just, instead of using the PIN, you just sign for it. So the charge ended up being forgery for that case. I got 2.5 years probation, and I guess I still had to learn my lessons. I went in. I was pretty broke. I was pretty hungry, and stupid me just decided to go back and grab a slice. And as I'm walking out, the cashier says, "Gonna pay for that?" I give him the old over the shoulder, "Pay for what?" And do the dash. Decided to run out of there.
Yeah, how many years did you get for that?
They were trying to hit me with 3 years.
Yes.
But that 3 years of DOC, of real prison.
Correct.
And
That's what you deserved.
it probably was what I deserved. But I
slice of pizza.
I sat myself.
I give you less time if you robbed the pizza joint. I give you 2 years for robbing of them. I give you 3 for stealing a slice. Give me a break, man.
That would have made the paper.
Yeah.
I sat myself in the county jail for 70 days. And after going through...
Please tell me you didn't tell the folks you were in there for that.
I did actually. They called me Pizza. I bet if you go to that jail, you'll probably still see it carved on the cell door.
All right. What did you do with your life after getting in trouble?
Afterwards, I just kind of... I moved back in with my parents. Stopped smoking for a while.
In the house. Go ahead, man. Who you talking to?
I really did go clean for a while. Tried my best just to stay to myself because I realized going out and hanging out with people and I was just making bad decisions doing that. So I decided to kind of buckle down, work.
Let me find out what happened here. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what ended up happening was I ended up going on Facebook on the marketplace and where they have like it's pretty much a lot of stuff where you could find and you could buy it off someone. And so I ended up seeing like this car. It was a Mazda, and I saw that it was like totaled. And so I went and took a little bit further look into it, and I saw it was his car. Eventually, I agreed on paying for it, and so I ended up fixing it. And so I sent him like text messages, and I was like, "Hey man, like I fixed the car." And then he asked me if he could buy the car back because he didn't think I was gonna fix it.
After you fixed it.
Yeah. And so after like discussing about it, we talked about me selling it to him for $2,000. And so he told me like he didn't have a lot of money up to begin with, so it ended up being like he would give me $500 up front and I'll give him the car. But like I wanted payments like every 2 weeks. And so ever since like I gave him the car and I would ask him about it, I have yet to see like a payment or anything. So
0 payment.
Yes.
He didn't give you any of the sob stories?
I would get like one or two, but like, you know, I understand that you're broke, but you gotta understand I'm broke
Word
too.
of advice. Ask for that sob story up front. So that way you'll know whether you're gonna get your money on the back end. And you come back with a sob story yourself. They tell you the sob story. Yeah, you know what just happened to me? Such and such. That's how you do that, all right?
Yeah.
All the viewers listening, ask for the sob story up front and make sure you have a sob story in the back of your mind. So in case their sob story sounds like some game, then you have yours ready. All right?
That's great. I love
good?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have to pay me. Y'all have to start paying me for the game I'm giving. Game is to be sold and not told.
Right.
All right. Let me hear from you about his money, sir.
Yeah, it was $1,500 to get no deadline to pay, but yeah, everything he said is correct. He did.
Was there a payment plan? Did he say, I'm going to give you a little at a time?
No, that's the thing. I didn't ask for a specific amount. I just said something.
Something when?
Like after he got the car every 2 weeks.
Okay.
I didn't ask for a specific amount. I just said something.
But you said, throw me something every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Did you hear every 2 weeks come in anywhere?
every 2 weeks has come around. Yeah, it's been
At
difficult.
the beginning, when he said, okay, you owe me, and I needed something every 2 weeks. Has to be said at the beginning. Was that said?
Yes, that was said.
All right, then that was the agreement.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I've been in a bit of a tricky situation lately. I've been living with a friend. Her rent has gone up, so I've been helping her with that. Other basic things around the house.
You couldn't project those expenses when you agreed to pay them.
I've told him about that at least at certain points.
Plaintiff Anthony Ward is suing his former friend, who claims after Anthony introduced him to pot, he got arrested for stealing a piece of pizza.
Okay, sir. Other than that, you have no defense? Because it would be a defense in terms of not a reasonable amount of time. If there's no agreed upon time, then it's a reasonable amount of time that the courts or the law interprets the time limit to be. In this case, however, the beginning said, give me something every 2 weeks. You acknowledge that was said at the beginning as part of the agreement. You gave him nothing every 2 weeks. So you breached the contract that first 2 weeks. So There we have it. 1,500 is your judgment. Good luck to you. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
This is premature, and you're a bad friend.
It's time to rewind and check out this week's Judge Mathis Throwback.
Plaintiff Mallory McMahon says a year and a half after she started dating the defendant, he started acting shady. So Mallory put a GPS tracker on his phone. Mallory claims one night she tracked the defendant and went to where he was, and she found him in his car in a compromising position with another woman. She's suing for property damages and a loan. Defendant Tremel Powell says Mallory is a good person and a good mother, but she is insecure. Tremel insists nothing happened between him and the female Mallory caught him with, and he claims he only damaged Mallory's property after Mallory threatened to damage his property.
Start with you.
I met Tremel in July 2015. Everything was great up until January of this year, and he would stop answering my calls. He would be gone. He would go to work and not come back in, stuff like that. So people.
What type of relationship had you had?
It was wonderful. He was good to me and my kids, dates, everything.
Exclusive relationship?
Yes.
Talked every day?
All the time. And after, I don't know what happened in January, but everything just changed. He stopped answering the phones, doing people would tell me stuff, but I'm more like, I want to know, I got to see for myself.
People like who?
Like friends that we have, in common, like around each other.
Ladies? Your girlfriends?
Most of his guys.
They wanted him.
Most of his guys.
Am I right or wrong?
Both guys too.
Oh, the guys wanted you too?
No, not wanted me.
And
No.
you are popular then. All right.
Kind of don't swing that direction.
Go ahead.
Okay, so after this, when everything was happening, like I said, I had to see for myself. So I put a GPS tracker on his phone, and after the last straw, he came home at 5 o'clock in the morning. Good thing I did do it because his birthday came. I had him a birthday party. He left to get liquor and never came back. I put the GPS tracker, I tracked the phone down. I pulled where he was at on the side of a road with the girl in the car, and her head was in his lap. I knocked on the window. He looked at me crazy and told me that she dropped her phone in between his legs.
And you gonna sit there and tell? I can wait too much.
What'd you do?
We started arguing, and I told him that I didn't want to be with him anymore. I was more upset because I'm bisexual. I like girls. We could have brought her home together. What's make her so special to go have to sneak and do it?
You want to give me some background?
Yeah, pretty much what she said. When I met her, she basically approached me like the confidence pretty. She was confident because she approached me. I haven't, but I usually in the park, Douglas Park. It was like that neighborhood, in my neighborhood where I'm from, we have parties in the park, and it's during the summer. It was one of those summer parties.
In Chicago, Douglas Park?
West Side, yeah. He came, approached me, but I like
Said what?
Yeah, that's too graphic for TV, but what she said.
What?
I'm gonna give you the
first sentence.
The PG-13.
Hey, baby, you
No, the first sentence was I heard you got a look. And you know me, I can't take a hit without giving the hit back. It was like, yeah, did they tell y'all not to use it? And so the conversation started from there and went from there, and it was like after a few months, we moved in together.
Okay, and how did the relationship go?
Like she said, everything was good. Good woman, good mother, all around good person, but insecurities about relationships.
Did you ever suspect her cheating, perhaps with other women?
No, I ain't.
Okay.
Can't say that I did.
Maybe she dropped her phone.
Why would I have to if I was bringing them home with me to women? What's the problem? Should be excited.
Yeah,
what man wouldn't love that? What make it so to have to go and do it on your own?
Your Honor,
she wasn't even cute, Your Honor. Her hair was a fool.
I went to go get some liquor. On my way back, I saw a person I went to school with offered a ride. Now I'm maybe 4 blocks away from the apartment. I go to at the stoplight. Phone was on the charger. The center console right here. Go to reach for the phone. Now it's between the center console and the seat. It's not in my lap. Go to reach for it. I'm turning to reach for it. All I hear is boom, 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 boom. Look, it's this one.
So you were giving her a ride, bottom line.
Yeah, on my way back to where I was going. She was going the same direction off of the ride.
5 a.m.
No, it wasn't 5 a.m. this day.
What
This
time?
day it was probably like 2.
She was walking around on the street.
I don't know where she was going.
On the
was coming
street.
from the
You
liquor
picked up
store. Yeah, she
off
was on
the street.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
He told me a party. He was dropping her off at a party, Your Honor.
I didn't tell you that.
Yes, you did.
Plaintiff Mallory McMahon dated the defendant and put a GPS tracker on his phone. And one night she tracked him down and caught him in his car in a compromising position with another woman.
How often would he disappear?
A lot. It started happening in January. Like
For
I
how
told-
long? How much time? How much of
maybe
the time?
2-3 hours, sometimes 4. The last one was with the 5 o'clock. That's
Any
when
time overnight or two?
No, he never overnight, but 5 o'clock in the morning is overnight. Like they said, let the sun beat you home.
Never did 2 nights in a row or anything?
Never 2 nights in a
All
row.
right.
It's
So
still
he's not-
fresh.
All right, so he's not on crack. So maybe, but he could have had a crack head. Was the woman a crack head?
She looked like it, if you ask me.
Walking around on the street 2 a.m. in the morning, wondering. You don't ask her where she's coming from because you know where she's coming from is likely to be that she's coming from either the dope house or somebody that was helping her get some dope. And so, all right, what happened?
After that happened, I left and told him he had to get his stuff from my house. I went home, and when I got home, he called me and said he was coming to get his things. I packed everything and put it in front of my door. And when you first, in the back of the door, when I opened the door, he came in, he pushed me through the door. I fell down. He came in, went into the kitchen where the laundry was at, took the bleach off the counter and poured it all over my carpet, then the clothes, the carpet, then went in my bathroom and kicked the faucet off the tub. He put a hole in the wall.
And how did it end?
I told him I was calling the police, how it always ends, and he took off out my apartment. But then he left and he started sending me these text messages.
What about the loan?
The loan is for the cell phone that I got him that he was supposed to pay me back for. He signed a promissory note telling me he was going to give me the money back once he got his job.
You described what happened.
Yeah, I called her and told her I was coming to get my things. Like I do. I'm packing everything, paperwork, pencils, everything. But anyway, I go to the door. Now she's like kind of not barricading it, but like blocking the door. So I told her, I'm getting my stuff. That's what you want me to do. I'm gonna get it and get out of here. But as I was going in, she still was trying to, I'll bring it to you. You can't carry all these bags without moving away from the door. It's 2 big bags in a book bag. So I nudged it a little bit. She stepped back, fell on her own. I didn't push her. I didn't push the door. She fell. And when I came in, she said, okay, since you want to be aggressive, you push me, I'm going to do this to your stuff, I'm going to do this to your stuff. She threatened my stuff. She actually didn't do nothing, but she threatened my stuff. So I'm thinking, I took it
Threatening
serious.
how? What was she going to do?
Everything you could do to her. Cut, burn, bleach,
All
trash.
right. And what did happen?
Now, when she said that, the bleach was out. Because I guess it cleaned early. I mean, we cleaned earlier. It was still sitting in the kitchen.
So you had helped clean.
Yeah, we cleaned
earlier
because it was my
with
birthday
bleach.
for guests to come over. Yeah, we
All
cleaned
right.
the kitchen floor and the
And
bathroom.
you left the bleach there after cleaning.
No, I helped her. She actually.
I
had
washed
the bleach.
clothes. He didn't clean.
She threatened my stuff and had it near her. So I grabbed the bleach and I go to making false threats back.
For what?
Waving about damaging her stuff. She says I take care of my clothing, so I like my clothes.
So you intended to do what when you grabbed it?
Nothing. It was a empty threat, but anyway.
No, it's not anyway. You grabbed the bleach, you had an empty threat, and then what happened?
Pump faked and the top wasn't all the way on.
And it did damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you caused the damage.
Yeah.
What am I missing? Why shouldn't you pay for it?
Because it was an accident, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I should because
it was an accident.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
Right. And had you not grabbed it and started pretending that accident wouldn't have occurred.
No, I wouldn't.
All right. Even if you didn't intend to damage the property, you were negligent in grabbing a bottle of bleach, waving it around, and the result is it spilled and damaged the property. What about the other damages?
The bathroom. I was using the bathroom after I told her I got to use the bathroom before I get out of here because I got an hour train ride to where I'm going. didn't want to drive. So
My car. You're right. You weren't driving it. But go ahead, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
well, I went to use the bathroom, locked the door as I was using the bathroom. She come banging on the door. I say, let me finish using the bathroom, and I leave. I unlock the door, get up, wash my hands. And as I go to open the door, she's trying to come in the bathroom too. Bathroom probably from the door to the tub, 3.5 feet. Toilet to the wall, same distance. So it's small. Now I try to walk past her. I try to get past her. Now she turned to a defensive lineman. No, I'm not. So as I was trying to get past, she trying to stop me from getting past and go to reaching for me. As she was reaching for me, inebriated mind thinking, I try to get past her, spin move, man down, nothing to catch, shower curtain, tub. Spout, knock the spout.
What's happening? You coming here acting like you were such a player. She hit on me. If you were such a player, she'd have said, well, no, baby, you did me wrong. But I'm not going to mess your stuff up and damage your stuff. But I might have to break up with you. But perhaps we can talk about it later because I think this is a bad time for both of us. And you said, okay, baby, that's how we handle it. That's how you should handle things.
You don't know this. You don't know this woman.
You don't know the game. You keep talking about she approached you and this and that and the other. You don't even know how to take advantage of the fun she offers.
Your Honor,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. How the way you learned the game? What part of the game you learned?
There was no aggression, as you can see in the text messages that he sent to me. He was the aggressor. He was mad.
Please. Plaintiff Mallory McMahon dated the defendant and put a GPS tracker on his phone. And one night she tracked him down and caught him in his car in a compromising position with another woman.
Did she loan you money and did you repay it?
No, it was the phone, the iPhone.
Do you think you should pay for that?
Oh.
Play games, B. When I come, I'm coming. Then you say, your kid saved you. I promise. All right, so you were threatening her. $4,900 is your judgment, ma'am, for the damages and the phone that he failed to reimburse you for. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I got no problem with it. She's still cool with me. Whatever happens. We can be friends or get back into it or whatever, get back into a relationship.
No, I'm okay. I'm fine with it. I just want to stay far away. That's it. He's a good person. Not for me. I'm just done with it.
We recently spoke with plaintiff Mallory McMahon, who told us that she and the defendant, Tremel Powell, never reconciled after their case was heard, and they no longer speak. Mallory also told us that she's currently engaged to be married in May of 2022 to the love of her life. We tried reaching out to Tremel, but were unable to reach him. So Tremel, if you're watching, please give us a call.